So
for sure. I mean, like, there's nothing like being in front of a huge crowd, falling on your face, and then the other person is just like, "You fell," and like laughing at you in your face. Like, you get real strong after that.
Oh
especially
my gosh.
so then when you go to like, you know, do something public speaking or whatever, people aren't gonna really be doing that.
No, they won't.
Yeah, I've been through a lot worse. This is not that hard. You know, I have people laughing in my face because I fell on it.
b-boy scenes, it's brutal, man. If y'all think all these like dancers that are hella dope, they're always getting the attention like at Red Bull and stuff. It ain't like that at all, man. They're getting booed off camera. They're getting
yeah. I mean, the work to get to that is, I mean, it's hidden for most of it, but like, dude, the struggle is real for them. Yeah, for sure.
It's like,
hello, everybody, and welcome to the inverted world of audio chaos. This is Noise of the Broke Boys podcast. So if you enjoy the show, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for the Broke Homies. Today's guest is a b-boy, podcaster, YouTuber, and real estate agent. My man, Bboy Thread of the show Chia Talks. What's up?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on the show, bro.
Yeah, I'm glad you can come. It's good having like podcasters or YouTubers and stuff like that, because I think it makes it a lot easier to do these things. I don't need to coach someone how to like talk on a microphone. And so like, I know you've had this like podcast that you've been doing, and I know we'll get into talking about that a little bit later. But you know, your show's been growing, and I know it's about real estate.
It is.
But you started out as a b-boy. I met you as a b-boy, battled you many times, and so it's kind of interesting that you're like this professional person now.
I'm still me, man.
Yeah,
no,
you're definitely still you. So, can you talk about kind of like your intro into dancing, and you know where that came from, and then like the rise of your crew, Airsteps crew, which had like a huge influence on the Sacramento scene and kind of like in the whole California scene, definitely in the Hmong community too.
For sure, yeah. I mean, man, Airsteps, me dancing. So I guess I gotta go way back then, right? So I came to SAC in 03. Okay, 2003, and I was visiting my nephew.
Okay.
And he was breakdancing with Airsteps for a while already. So I think they've been going at it for like a couple years already. And then I went and hung out with Airsteps. But where I came from, we raved a lot. We didn't breakdance.
Wait, where were you at?
Detroit.
Okay.
Detroit, Michigan.
Wow.
Yeah, so I came from over there. But I was originally from Cali.
Yeah.
But we moved to Detroit in 96. Stayed there till like 03, and then we came back.
Okay.
And then that's when I got introduced to b-boy. I always liked that scene because in Michigan there was people that did it too, but I was more into raving because my brothers did it, so I did it. But when I came here, I got introduced to it by my nephew. He was in Airsteps, like I said, and then from there he taught me flare and then windmill, and then I just kind of it was just history from there.
Yeah.
Airsteps, I'd say. I think we all met, and Airsteps kind of came into the scene more for everybody else besides the Hmong community in 05. Yeah. I would say that's Floor Rockers. You remember that jam?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you entered.
Yeah.
You entered. Vincent entered with Chase. They went to the finals. Remember, they went against Random and Doom.
That sounds familiar.
It was a jam when Morris jumped over the judges' table to try to stop the music. Remember that jam?
Dude, there was some chaos back then, but that sounds very familiar. I mean, yeah.
He was still legendary.
Yeah, okay.
Morris was still legendary steps.
Okay.
And the whole crew just came on the, like before the finals and went on the middle of the dance floor. And they tried to stop the music, and Morris ran straight to the table and tried to stop the music, but then they resumed it. Yeah. So ever since that jam, we just got into going to jams. That was our first jam ever, and then we took first. So then from there, we just got hooked. And I think that's when we started hitting every jam. Whether it was local or Bay Area, we went to almost every jam that we could go to. And I think that's what started it all. But before that, all we did was just go to house parties and battle people and call people out. That was it. Yeah,
I remember, I want to say like I knew of you guys before you really showed up at a jam. I just didn't realize how good you guys were.
Really?
Because I think I had trained like once or twice with you guys, and then all of a sudden you showed up at one jam, just demolished everyone. And I want to say it was like the first jam I ever seen you guys at, and I was like, oh shit, Airsteps is no joke. And you just like ever since after that jam, it was like you were at every jam and just beating everybody, and in the finals or whatever.
I wouldn't say beating, but then like we were definitely really addicts. It was you say that.
It was for sure like you were gonna smoke somebody there. Like you didn't want to get these guys first round for sure.
We really like we were really serious about it because you know we were kids.
Yeah.
And like during those times, man, like the only thing we knew was breakdance.
You guys changed my mind about how to battle too, because I remember seeing, because I would always kind of go like, oh, I'm gonna battle these guys, so I know what to throw at them and what not to throw at them. And then when you guys came, you would throw freaking everything every round, and I was like, fuck, you can't save moves.
Your moves. No.
And it made me realize saving moves is a stupid idea in the first place, because like, what if you just lose because you saved the move?
Yeah, and then now you regret.
Yeah, and so that's when you guys really changed my mind that's just a dumb way to battle.
Man, that's so funny you say that, because you're right. Whenever we go, we always plan it. Mm-hmm. So whenever we go to jams, we always plan it. We'll always be like, my best set, because it's always like, let's say 30 plus b-boys, right? And then they would just take like top 16 or top 8. So it's like, shoot, if we came all the way over here for this jam, we gotta go all out just so that way we can make the top 8 or top 16. So that was our mentality going into it. And then like during that time, again, we didn't have much responsibility. So the moment we woke up, we just wanted to dance.
Yeah.
You know, so
those are the days, dude.
Yeah, man. Like we didn't care. We went to the mall, got kicked out because we were dancing.
In the mall, yeah.
In the mall, you know, before they demolished Flooring Mall. That was our mall that we used to go to.
Oh yeah, dude.
Before that whole Walmart and everything came there, it was a Flooring Mall, you know, and that was the place to go to. And we would go there all the time and battle, session, and get kicked out and then leave.
I was in a lot of battles at the mall, definitely. It was at Arden Mall. I was always at
Arden. Oh, we never really tried at Arden, but Flooring for sure.
I went to Flooring a couple times, but I just lived closer to Arden, so I was always over there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. In high school, I would battle there like all the freaking time. Once a week, probably.
Yeah, because like for us, this is even before we were entering jams, you know, like before 05, and like in the Hmong community, it's pretty niched. So like once you battle somebody, everybody's gonna know who you are. So then they start telling all their boys start telling the other crews and all that. So like it could get pretty dramatic quickly. Yeah. But that was all we did.
Yeah. So do you have any like interesting or funny stories from like that time?
From
from just like battling times, or
so one Morris, right? He jumped. I thought that was pretty hilarious when he did that. The other times during those time was when we will always get into fights. Sometimes people would just take stuff too seriously.
A lot of fights at jams.
We'll go to jams, right? And then we would think we did really good. And we'll always be like, man, we got robbed.
Yeah.
Well,
you guys did get robbed a lot of times, dude, to be honest.
We felt that way.
In fact, dude, there was a jam that I won. It was all of us that won. And we battled you like in like the second round or something, and I was like, dude, these guys fucking beat us. And I kept telling you guys,
it was at Sac State, right?
No. This was in it was in the Bay somewhere.
It was in the Bay, okay.
I know we battled Hybrid in the finals. I forget the name of the jam, but we battled you guys in the beginning, I think. It was like second round or something, and I was like, dude, Airsteps smoked us. Why did we win this battle? And then like I remember coming up to you guys like, yo, you guys beat us, so I don't know. You guys got robbed against us.
I think during that time, because we barely started going to Bay Area, and I think for us, we felt like there was a lot of politics.
There's for sure politics.
We recognized that right off the gate when we went there. Like every local jam we went to, we always made it to the finals, I feel like. But the moment we go outside, it's like, it's politics. Oh, we know these locals more than y'all, so we're going to make our locals advance.
It's definitely that.
We felt that.
Well, and it's also like, if your style's not recognizable to them, they're going to be like, I don't know about these guys.
Yeah, like I remember when we first went to the Bay, during that time, we did a lot of sets, right? Like sets, and a lot of dynamics, right? Power moves, etc. But when we went to the Bay, it was a lot of basic fundamental footworks. I think that was more of the scene during that time. But we didn't do much fundamentals back then. We barely did 6 steps.
Yeah.
And CCs and stuff. And then I remembered after going to a few Bay Area jams and then coming back home being super depressed and upset that we got robbed.
Yeah.
Like we spoke to a few other Bay Area people that just became friends with us afterwards, and they would tell us, you know, like, y'all need to do more footwork, y'all need to do more basics, y'all need to like tell the judges that y'all know like the history of b-boy, y'all know the fundamentals and stuff like that. We didn't know what none of that was. We didn't, you know, like we went, because when we got introduced to breakdancing, all we knew was power moves.
Yeah. Okay.
Like we were doing, everybody was doing flare, air flare 90s, air flare windmills. Everybody was doing that.
Yeah, but you guys weren't just power move crew, though.
Right, we weren't.
Like you for sure weren't. Like
no, we transitioned.
Yeah.
So like the first jam,
like Doom for sure was not like that.
He was all power moves.
I guess in the beginning
but then he transitioned.
Yeah,
even Doom transitioned.
He's so different than that. Yeah,
he is so different. So now people that meet Doom like during that time would think, oh, this dude don't have power move, but he started as power moves.
I mean,
you know?
for sure you guys all had power moves. I would say that, but I wouldn't go and say like you are a power mover. You know, like in the sense of like how Ricky is, how Era is, like, because that's all he does.
So that's funny. So when during that time, we wanted Era to be just power.
Yeah.
Because everybody was style already, right? So we're like, we need one to maintain the power.
Oh, okay.
So whenever somebody comes out on power, you're gonna handle all of it. You know what I mean? So that was always a strategy going in. But then, you know, like, you gotta be well rounded if you're gonna be a dope b-boy, right? So we all transitioned. And when you transition, you're gonna lose some power moves. You know.
Do you think that was an upgrade to you or like a downgrade?
I think it was an upgrade because it taught us to understand musicality.
Oh yeah.
Like, man, we our first jam, we could not follow music at all.
It's hard, honestly.
It is.
I mean, because the stuff we do is so athletic already, and then to like put it to music is hard. And then especially if you're not used to it, and then when you suddenly like start working with it and then like figuring it out, and it just kind of becomes second nature, and you don't even think about it. You don't understand. You don't realize, or I guess it's hard to describe the struggle to get there to someone who's never done that before. And then like after you're there, you're kind of like, you forget that it was so hard to get to that point.
I know, man. I never understood that, and you're right. It becomes second nature, right? You just do it subconsciously. And sometimes whenever I teach people to follow music, I'll get so like annoyed. I'm like, it's so easy. Just follow the music. Are you listening to the music? The beat is right there. There's a tempo, you know. But then like that's so true. Some people, it's not a muscle memory.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
So it's harder for them because one more thing for them to focus on, right?
Exactly.
On top of their set.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, like we did not have none of that at all, but then we slowly transitioned. So, yeah, man, that was what we did.
Yeah.
Was that a funny enough moment? feeling like we got robbed all the time for I felt like every job we went to, we always said that we got robbed. Then it got to a point to where it's like, we don't need to go to that job. We're gonna get robbed.
Is that why you stopped breaking or like got out of the scene? Yeah.
So I stopped because I started a family.
Okay.
Right? So like in the beginning, like I was bringing my daughter with me. She's my oldest. She's 13 now. But during that time, I will bring her everywhere with me.
Yeah.
Like she'll be in her like car seat. I'll bring her everywhere with me to go session, like jams. But it kind of got to the point to where I started neglecting my family.
Yeah.
And then I woke up, I guess. And I grew up to where I realized I gotta let this go. And so in my mind, here's what I always told myself. If my kids ever decide to do it, I would 100% support them.
Yeah.
I won't do what my parents did to me because they didn't understand.
Yeah.
But I understand. So if they ever do decide to take dancing into like consideration, I will sponsor them. I will fly them out. I will support them 100% because the passion, like once you're passionate in something like that, man, like you could do a lot of things with that.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, so
yeah.
like I told myself that, and I told my wife that. So I just decided to let it go. You know, and I let it go in the season when I was starting to come up. So as a solo b-boy.
Yeah.
I mean, I was still representing Airsteps, my crew, but I was starting to get invites to go to like Seven to Smoke.
Yeah.
I think that was like my last biggest jam was Seven to Smoke. The one in the World Dance.
Yeah.
Over there. Yeah. So I went up to that one. And then we did a few other exhibitions at World of Dance against Guerrilla Warfare and them.
Oh yeah, okay.
And that was a funny battle.
Shout
too.
out to those guys.
Yeah, man, they're dope.
Yeah.
Guerrilla Warfare, they're dope, man. Chaotic in them. But yeah, that was like one of our last biggest jams that we went to because we got invited to, and I stopped everything. Yeah. We went against Korean b-boys too in LA. You know, we flew all the way to LA and we battled at the Battle Swagger.
Oh yeah, I
We went
remember
against Last for One.
Yeah, those
And
guys are tight.
What
What happened
dope.
to them?
I don't know, but they're dope though. You know,
Yeah, they were tight.
and we looked up to them, and maybe I'll add this to that. I remember that jam we went right, and then Ariel was supposed to go with us, but he couldn't go or he didn't want to go. Something I forgot, but he couldn't go. So it was me, Nasty Kid, Doom, and a bunch of other homies, right? And then we went and hung out with Impact and Villain them because they got a spot over there. They're like our mentors.
Shout out to them.
Yeah,
Underground
the twins, Underground Flow. Yeah, they were like our mentors growing up. And so we stayed over there and then we entered together as Hmong b-boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Hmong b-boys. You guys know what that crew is, right? So it was basically about Hmong b-boys. And so we call ourselves a Hmong b-boy. And we entered the jam for the first time as Hmong b-boys at Battle Swagger. And then we went against Last for One. We beat them in a tiebreaker. And then
That's crazy.
It is so crazy.
That's
like
crazy.
that blew our mind when I was the one that did the tiebreaker.
Oh really? That's
Yes.
crazy.
If their guy did not like mess up and I didn't make it so obvious during the tiebreaker, I think we would have lost. But then like he messed up on
Dude,
every.
I remember that battle. I think. Yeah.
You do?
I think so. I think I remember that because I remember that going like, oh shit, this is getting crazy.
Dude,
'Cause,
yeah,
like,
there was so much internet talk about that battle
Yeah.
because we were Hmong, they were Koreans, and a lot of Hmong communities look up to Koreans. And when we beat them, I remember we called Era, and Era was like, "Oh what? I didn't come, but y'all went against Last for One." You know, like,
Yeah.
and he was hella upset, and I think he was kind of jealous.
oh yeah, for sure.
but
sure he
but then like that was that was pretty big for us, you
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
we would
I mean,
never
that's huge.
we would never have like imagined us going through that and being recognized by the LA b-boy scenes for beating Last for One, and that made it so big for us. And then we just stopped. We let all that go all of a sudden because everybody grew apart. Everybody started their own families. You know, like I got 3 kids now. So that's really why I stopped. You know, if it wasn't for that, I always told my wife. Actually, she always mentions it. She'll be like, do you think that if we didn't have kids or got married, like you would still be dancing? I'll be traveling the world right now dancing.
Yeah.
I told her that. That's always my reflex.
Yeah.
My response, you know, was because I love dancing.
Yeah.
I still love dancing, you know, and so like I'll tell her that. But yeah, man, that's why I let B-Boy go.
Yeah. So how do you feel like dancing has influenced like the rest of your life?
It taught me passion, you know, it taught me dedication because like, man, you know, like our workouts, it's not like once a week workout. If you're doing it once a week, then you're out of shape.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to handle 10 round solos, right?
Yeah.
So it was like every day.
Yeah.
Like, and I understood that work ethic. I understand the dedication, and that helped me out a lot in my career now. You know, and that's why I think that's why I love music so much because I know what it did for me. Like, apart from the workout, in the routines, like creating sets of your own like originality, that's hard.
Yeah, it is.
When there's
It
like
is very
thousands of
hard.
b-boys, there's thousands of moves out there already, like what's new under the sun, right? And like now you gotta come up with something new and creative and unique. Like original sets and stuff like that took a lot of like energy and focus, and so like that taught me like creativity. You know, like that made me a creator. And I think that's why when I'm making my YouTube videos and stuff, I love to edit so much because I feel like I'm creating something from nothing.
Yeah.
Because when we're practicing, right, we're thinking of a new set, but we're just doing fundamental footwork. And it's like, oh, let's try twisting here. Let's try threading here, right? And so like it's always starting from the fundamentals and then changing it, making it into your own, right? So I think a lot of things I do today involves that creativity.
Yeah.
So like, man, B-boy helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
In that like perspective, you know what I mean?
I definitely think creativity is like a skill, you know, like you can't, I feel like everybody has an imagination if they let themselves have it.
Right.
But to be able to hone like the creativity, you have to actually like let that imagination turn. You got to put work ethic with that as well to like, you know, and reason through like something that is possible, something that is not, or something that maybe is impossible, but let's figure out a way how to get there, you know.
Right.
Like that takes a little bit of imagination and a little bit of know-how to actually get there, you know.
It does.
And it's a skill to really hone, you know.
Yeah, and there's a lot of tweaks, right? Like
For sure.
Like some of your sets, I remember some of your earlier sets that you still do now, but you've perfected it, right?
Yeah.
Like in the beginning when you're first implementing that new set, it looks sloppy, but it's a set. But then over time, you still keep those set, but you perfected it now. And now you're going through music with that set now, right? So like, it's never gonna be a done deal. And I think that's pretty similar to life, right?
Yeah.
You're never gonna arrive, right?
Yeah, that's true.
If you felt or believe that you've arrived anywhere, whether it's life, your dance career, your moves, your set, then you basically put a lid on yourself, right? You told yourself, I'm good enough. My move is good enough.
Yeah. As soon as you say that, you're like you're gonna plateau.
That's it. Yeah. You're gonna be right there forever, and like you're never gonna grow. And I think that's like the lazy way of seeing things, you know. And many people do that. You know, many people do that, and you're right. You know, it's really hard to want to get out from that comfort zone and say, what can I do to perfect this move? Or what can I do in life to perfect my career? Like anything in that principle applies throughout.
Yeah.
You know, so I learned so much from that. And not only that, but when you perfected it or when you've come up with your own set now you got to perform for a live audience.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not scripted.
Oh, yeah.
So there's all that pressure too. So like now you're dealing with like being in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
All that pressure, you know, and that's a lot, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's so much that individual has to go through. I mean, when you're with your crew, it's a little bit different because you have your cheerleaders there, right?
Yeah.
But then like when you're doing like a solo event, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, you know? You don't know nobody. It's a new scene. This ain't your hometown. It's like, I don't think they like me. Like you have all these doubts before you even enter the first round, you know?
Yeah.
So like, I think having gone through that season of breaking in my life, I could always reflect right now, look back at those days and go, I could get myself out from this. I've done this before.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So yeah, man. I don't think I would ever take those days back.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. That breaking has taught you like how to go from like nothing to something, and like just with to break, you don't really need anything. You need a floor and I guess some shoes maybe, but like not really anything.
True,
and
not really.
And you figure out how to make your body do all these things. I mean, it truly is going from nothing to something.
It is.
And like that ability, I think it teaches you how to go, oh yeah, you know, when I'm faced with something challenging, there's a way to do it. I just need to figure it out. You know, apply some thought, apply some creativity, and I think I'll figure it out. Yeah.
No, that's so true.
That's a skill that's I don't know.
But it could be learned.
For sure,
it could be learned.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody is different. You know, it might take longer for this person versus that person, but if you're dedicated and if it's something you're really passionate about, like, you'll be able to get that skill. You know, you'll be able to learn it, and it's gonna be one of those skills to where it's priceless.
Yeah,
because you can apply it anywhere in life.
Yeah,
you know. So yeah,
you know, the other thing too is being in front of people and like pouring your heart and soul onto the floor in front of a crowd is not an easy thing to do. I mean, one of the biggest fears people have is like public speaking and things like that. And I feel like it's not quite a fear of mine anymore because it's like I've braked in front of huge audiences. You know, like I've done the All-Star game for the NBA. I've done like tons of NBA games. I've been in front of huge crowds and braked, and it was not a problem for me. And now it's like when I have to do a speech or something at work or whatever, I'm like, whatever. I do this all the time, basically. Yeah. Like I do something worse, like harder than this all the time, you know?
Yeah.
Which is a weird skill to have learned from breaking, I would say.
Yeah, and like sometimes we mess up.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
sometimes
people hit the floor because they know we screwed up.
Yeah.
They know our set. They knew that we screwed up, so now they're tapping on the floor, right?
Yeah, dude.
And they're letting the judges know. So like when we flop, we get used to that flop, right? It's like, shoot, now I gotta. So
for sure. I mean, like, there's nothing like being in front of a huge crowd, falling on your face, and then the other person is just like, "You fell," and like laughing at you in your face. Like, you get real strong after that.
Oh
especially
my gosh.
So then when you go to like, you know, do something public speaking or whatever, people aren't gonna really be doing that.
No, they won't.
Yeah, I've been through a lot worse. This is not that hard. You know, I have people laughing in my face because I fell on it.
B-boy scenes, it's brutal, man. If y'all think all these like dancers that are hella dope, they're always getting the attention like at Red Bull and stuff. It ain't like that at all, man. They're getting booed off camera. They're getting
yeah. I mean, the work to get to that is, I mean, it's hidden for most of it, but like, dude, the struggle is real for them. Yeah, for sure.
It's like.
This episode of Noise of the Broke Boys is brought to you by Common Sense. Do you find yourself fumbling with whether you should put a lid over the blender before turning it on? Or maybe you have a desire to put your hand into the blender while it is on. Or perhaps you're a dancer that believes your face crash signature move is the best way to impress a bunch of people you don't even know. It may be that Common Sense is right for you. Talk to your doctor about how Common Sense can change your life. I myself have seen a huge increase in my own well-being after I began using Common Sense. For example, I no longer yearn to post selfies online or purchase gluten-free water. Thanks to Common Sense, I feel like a brand new person. Talk to your doctor today and see what Common Sense can do for you. And now, on to the show.
For somebody to get to that level, it's because they went through a lot.
Yeah, I mean, how many people laughed at them or like, you know, said, "You suck."
Exactly. They went through a lot of dirt to be able to reach that kind of level, you know?
Yeah.
So like, when you understand that kind of struggle, you just give them a lot of props for what they do. It doesn't even matter if they win that jam or not. They made it there.
Yeah.
You know, so that's huge right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I look at the scene now with like, you know, we got sponsored events and stuff, and it's like huge. I look at it now and I go, wow, like, look how far we've come from just, you know, going to, you know, crappy little events that were just at a community center where there's like 30 people there to now, I mean, it's being live streamed on TV. I don't know, millions of viewers probably.
Right.
Legit athletes, legit companies sponsoring this. It's like such a crazy thing to see, like in my lifetime. I never thought I would see something like this. And now it's going into the Olympics.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Jeez,
like,
man.
When I was hearing about that, I'm like, it kind of makes you feel like, shoot, I should have kept doing it.
You know,
or
dude, you know what it makes me think of? It makes me go, man, I was born a little bit too early because like once the Olympics hits, I'm going to be like 37 and it's like, Yeah, I mean, not that there's gold medalists
Yeah.
that have been that age, but it's like there's not a good chance of that. You know,
There's all these young bucks coming up that
like 18-year-olds that are right now.
And they got energy.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, capitalize on that, because like I could see this, you know, in like 10 or 15 years probably, we're gonna see this thing become like skateboarding or something. Where
I know.
you got sponsored people.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
stuff.
think about it, right? A lot of movies now implement dance,
It does, yeah.
right? Choreography, b-boys,
Yeah.
like even these cartoon Disney movies now, they're implementing dancers.
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
are from like b-boy scenes,
Yeah.
you know, and so it's huge. Dancing's not going anywhere anymore.
What I almost think it's gonna be a sport where like people, because it's fun to watch. I feel like, you know, I know a lot of people that don't break and they watch it and they go like, this is really cool. And I feel like as in the same sense that skateboarding or like even like UFC or something like that is fun to watch, even if you don't do it.
Right.
I feel like it could easily become something like that.
See, but here's the scary thing about that. If it does become a sport, right, it's gonna lose a lot of that.
Rawness.
Yeah, it's gonna lose a lot of that because now it has to be entertaining.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? You can't include the rusty part of it, the ugly side of it now, right? Because nobody wants to see that. They want to see that. They want to be entertained, right? So I think that's gonna take away a lot from like the actual scene, and it's gonna change the whole. It's gonna change it.
Yeah.
Now it's not even about, hey, let's go session. It's gonna be like, I want to be a b-boy when I grow up, and then like it's just behind cameras now, you know. But really, behind back doors, you don't really like to dance. You're just doing it for the money.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like it can get to that. You know, not to say that the people that are doing it big right now don't love what they're doing. No, that's not true at all. It's just they came up during the time when you had to work hard to get to where you're at currently, right?
Yeah.
But now, if it becomes a sport, it's kind of like, I want to sign up, you know. And then now it's kind of like, okay, we're doing like auditions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then now it's like, is that person really a b-boy? Do they really know about b-boying?
Yeah. There's definitely like something to, like, I guess being just like some bummy ass kid or whatever, and then stumbling upon breaking, and going like, I just love this thing, and I don't even know what events are, or like there's hardly jams, and if there is, you win like $10 from it.
Yeah.
Like, and still loving to do it and continuing with it. Cause I mean, when I first started, there was barely jams around.
No,
Like once
it was
in a
just
while.
house parties.
Yeah, it was like parties, and you would go.
Or schools.
There would be a dance party that had nothing to do with breaking, and then they would just play some, you know, crappy like a hip hop song, like, oh, this is good enough to break to, so we're just gonna break.
Settle for this.
And then you find out that, you know, like this dude breaks. Like I think I met him through that because we were at like a basketball game, and we just started breaking, and then him and his friends started battling us. We're like, okay, whatever. Like that was like all that we had breaking. It wasn't like these Red Bull events or whatever.
Right.
I mean, I want to say Red Bull did have an event around that time, which was like Lords of the Floor in 2002 or whatever, but
YouTube wasn't like how it was right now.
YouTube didn't exist. Not till what, 2000 and
See, that's crazy that you mentioned that, right? So like I remember like when we first started getting into jams, and there was all these groups coming up trying to go to jams now too. There would be a lot of these crews that was watching YouTube, right? And then it kind of got to the point to where everybody looked alike.
Yeah.
Everybody's style was like, it's so recognizable. It's like, you look like Hong Tan.
It's social media. I truly think it's social media, and the readily available footage just on the internet. Because before that, like, when did you see footage? It was when your homie gave you the tape that he copied like 15 times, and it's like super grainy, and you're like, I can't even see what the heck this is. It looks tight though. And you had one of those, and then you trade your friend for the next one when he got that or whatever.
Dude, we didn't even have that. Like we had to like shoot, we remember we would go to jams, right?
Yeah.
And they would sell these DVDs.
Oh yeah.
And they wouldn't allow you to bring your like recording devices and all that because they wanted to record it and sell it to you.
Yeah.
Right? So like that's how they would make money back in the days because they knew that people was gonna record it.
Yeah.
And now they can't sell you the movie or that jam. Right? So like that was our only exposure to like jams and stuff like that.
Yeah. I remember going to Freestyle Session 8, which was on the Queen Mary
the boat. Yeah, the boat.
And that was right when cell phones started being used. I didn't have one at that time, but I remember my friend had one. It was just a little stupid flip phone.
Yeah.
But it had a camera on it. I think it could videotape in like the worst quality footage.
But it was like 30 seconds.
For like 30 seconds, yeah. And they wouldn't let him bring it in. They're like, you can't bring this in because you're gonna steal the footage or whatever. And he was like, dude, what? I'm gonna steal 30 seconds of footage? What are you talking about?
Pause.
Can't even see anything. There's like 5 pixels in this thing, and they wouldn't let him bring it in.
Yeah, man, it's horrible. It's that was how. I mean, so I get it. Like now, like as a business person, like I get it. Those event holders, they had a business going on. They needed to make money from the event, so that's how they did it. And sometimes, like those people were using that to pay the people that was winning the jam, right? Yeah. So I get it. Now that I'm grown up, got my own family, I get it. There's bills you gotta pay. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it did got absurd, right? Like it even got to the point to where like I remember we went to this one Bay Area jam. They did not let us bring our own water because they wanted to sell it to us. Yeah. Oh. We were so mad. We were so broke already, right?
Yeah, I hate that.
And so here's what we did. We would go to the bathroom and drink the tap water.
Yeah.
Cause we were so thirsty.
Yeah.
And it's not like a 5-second session.
Yeah. It's like you're there for hours. You know?
And
like not letting you have some water is insane.
Yeah, and like everybody's sweaty.
Honestly, that's probably a lawsuit. In all honesty.
Yeah.
Nowadays, but yeah, I mean, I remember going to some events where they're like, "Yeah, you can't bring water." I'm like, so you just want me to die?
Yeah.
Well, you can buy it for $5 over there. Like,
I ain't got no money. My money's for the entrance
First
fee.
of all, I don't have the money to do that. And if I did, on principle, I'm not buying, 1 pint for $5.
For real, it's like a markup.
Yeah, come on, dude. That's insane.
Yeah, man. I get it. Business.
It is.
But at the same time, it's like, you gotta kind of be realistic.
It's a stupid business model, I think.
It is, because it doesn't last long.
Like, I understand selling water and stuff, but saying, like, no, you have to buy my water is dumb, I think.
Right.
Like,
it should be provided as a convenience that, hey, we do have it if you don't have it. If you don't want it.
Because there's for sure people who didn't bring their water. And also there's for sure people who like, they brought water, they finished it, and they're like, oh, this tap water's not good. Right. I want like something else. Yeah. Oh, here's an option right here.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot better. And it's not like from the get-go, like, F you, buy my stuff. Like there's already animosity like between customer and like a provider at that point.
I remember when we would go to jams and those type of jams, and then we get robbed. Like what I was saying before, we always got robbed.
And you're like, I'm gonna rob this place. Give me your $5 water.
It's like, man, they didn't even let us bring our own water, and now we got robbed on top of that, man.
Yeah, dude. You're just bringing back rage moments in me.
Yeah.
Because I'm just thinking about so many times.
But this is like real life stuff that we went through,
Because also you weren't going to really win that much money at that jam.
It wasn't enough.
You drove hell far for it. I mean, like, I don't know about how you guys got to these jams sometimes, but man, we had some rough car rides.
Oh.
Like 5 people in like a tiny little car. Like, I mean, I remember there was like 8 of us in one little like SUV. There was people sitting in the like hatchback trunk area. It was all bad.
Nope, same here, man. We had our Acura Integras, Honda Civics with 5-seaters, but there was like 10 people in that 5-seater car.
Yeah, and then
but luckily it was small, we're like small, so we count as one person, when it's 2.
Yeah, dude, but it's like you go through that to go. I mean, it's for the love of the game to get out there, and you're like, oh, and then you get robbed, and then you gotta pay $5 for water. You just want to like kick someone.
I know, man.
Kick the table over.
I guess that's why we go so hard, whenever we go to jams, because we knew the sacrifice.
Yeah.
I mean, probably an hour before that jam, we probably got into a big argument with our family or our parents to give us money just so we could enter the jam.
Yeah.
It's like, shoot, we're kids. We ain't got no job. We ain't got no car. The only person that has a car ain't got no gas money. So shoot, how much is a jam? $20 a person. There's 10 of us. Dude, we ain't got that kind of money.
Yeah,
so,
that's a lot of money.
So like some of us in the crew had money, and we would share.
Yeah.
You know, and then we would like pay for each other to get in. We would buy food for one another to get in. So the crew aspect of it, we all became family.
Yeah, definitely.
We all became brothers in a sense to where it's like, damn, we sweat together. We bled together.
Yeah.
And we sacrificed to go to that jam. Nah, you're my brother out there tonight, you know?
Yeah. No, it is like that. You definitely develop like a brotherhood between like everyone, like in your crew, just from like the sacrifices you make to get there. And like, I'm curious if that's still around in the scene now. I mean, I don't really see it as much because I don't think so. I don't see crews like, our crews from back then.
I don't see that same kind of what did you call it? The word I'm looking for.
Grit. I don't see that kind of grit.
Yeah, that grit is one of them, but no, man, I'm having a brain fart right now. No, it's a different word. It's
turn your mic on, dude.
it's a different word. But then like I don't see that kind of camaraderie.
Yeah.
I don't see that kind of camaraderie no more amongst these like b-boys or even these crews.
Yeah, well, I hardly see crews.
You know what? Yeah, you know what I see now? One person.
One guy.
But he's representing a crew, but it's always him.
Yeah.
So you only know about his crew because of him.
And then like you're like, where's all the other guys?
I feel like that's the scene now, right?
Yeah.
Which is sad.
It is sad.
If you think about it, right?
It's because they don't do crew battles anymore.
They don't.
Well, here's spin for words. Here we go. Here's my conspiracy theories. No, honestly, my conspiracy theory is that like when there was a lot of big crew battles, the crews like ours that were doing a lot of routines were just demolishing every other crew, and people didn't like that.
No.
And then they were like, how do we stop this?
They limit routines, I remember.
They first were like limiting routines.
Yeah.
And which, I mean,
I
remember Alien Ness was when they limited it at Freestyle Session 10. He put a post on Freestyle Session boards saying like, hey, you guys are stupid. Yeah. You just eliminated all the competition for us. We're going to win the jam. And like, and then what do you know? They do win. I mean, Gamblers was in the finals against them, put a good fight against. I think actually Gamblers probably beat them, but either way, like he was right. By limiting these routines, it made it a breeze for them to win.
Yeah, because some crews, they stand out because of their routines.
Yeah,
you know.
And
I remember there was some jams that we went to. They didn't even allow commandos.
Yeah,
they're like, you can't do commandos. Like
do
what?
Like what?
Automatically
They're
qualified.
like, this isn't part of breaking. I'm like, then how come I saw Ken Swift and someone else do this like back in the 90s, and how come Rocksteady Crew was on like what is it David Letterman's show, like dancing, doing routines together? Yeah. How's that not breaking? You're stupid. Like
I know, man. I see. It goes back to what we were saying earlier, right? Politics.
Yeah.
Right. I feel that sometimes it's because those jams have locals.
Yeah.
And though that local team probably didn't really that great at commandos or routines, so they knew, shoot, we don't want to give the prize money to an outsider.
Yeah.
The only way we can eliminate that, give it to a local, is if we choke them out.
I mean, I honestly think it was even like less planned than that. I think it was more that they were just like kind of brainwashed that this isn't real breaking. Routines are not real breaking, because there was a big narrative going through the whole scene around that time. Like, oh, it's not that's not real breaking, and people started believing that. And I would always push back, like, then how come there's all this footage of all these guys that you look up to doing routines? I mean, you can say that's not breaking, but go say that to all their faces. And by the way, that's what Ken Swift, Ramine, Crumbs,
right? All those original,
like, yeah, exactly.
Folks.
So, hey, go talk to them.
I know, and then that's
crazy.
I remember.
I
remember during that time when they were not allowing commandos or limiting routines per jam, per crew. I remember before they started implementing that on a lot of local jams, we were hella into routines, right? Airsteps, we got into it. We actually got into a lot of routine because of Flex Flav and Legendary Steps.
Yeah.
Because we know that y'all do a lot of routines.
Yeah.
Right? And then we're like, okay, we need some retaliations.
Yeah.
So that's when we started implementing a lot of routines. And it got to that. We're like, great, we practice all these routines and now we got to go back to solos. But for us, like, we started out as solos, so it wasn't a big issue.
Yeah.
But I remember that season when that was going on. We're like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah,
First no water, now no routines.
I mean, what was dumb to me was like they would go, "Oh, you can't do the routines," but you know, solos are fine. And I was like, no one over here on the routine side is saying don't do solos. Like they have always been saying, do solos too. Like in fact, a lot of them were saying do a solo after your routine. Like it makes your round just look better. It makes you.
It's more clean. Yeah. It's a finished set.
But then the people that couldn't do routines were like, no. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. Conspiracy theory, yeah, it is. But I would venture to guess that, you know, the scene kind of like threw a fit over it, mainly because they wanted a lot of crews that were winning those things to slow down. And now it's affected the scene to where crews kind of don't exist anymore. Like you see Jinjos and like Top 9 still around. And by the way, they still do routines.
They do hella routines.
Yeah. And those are probably the only crews that still really like stick together like that. I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's super crews that have become
that became a new thing during our time too. Super crews started coming together. Yeah, you know,
and then they became actual crews and started doing routines.
Yeah,
I mean, actual super crew.
You really like your routines, Curry.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just pointing out that happened.
Yeah, no, yeah.
A lot of people they want to like not focus on stuff like that.
I know, man. I mean, people's gonna do what they're gonna do, right? And honestly, it's small events that are doing that. Big events, they don't really care about that. If you're dope, you're dope.
I think the big events got affected in the sense that they don't want to throw the crew battles anymore. There's only once in a while they'll do it. Like look at Freestyle Session, for instance. When have they done a full 10 versus 10 in a long time? It's always 3-on-3s, which I'm not complaining about. Like I like those too, but
it's not full.
It's not the same. I love the crew battles. They're just so much more fun to watch.
Yeah, you know, and
participate.
And like, I think a crew. What makes a crew dope? At least when we were doing it, this is what we all thought. What makes a dope crew is everybody. Goes out confidently. Nobody is standing behind the main guy. You know, like nobody is standing behind that guy because they know they got it too. You know, and a lot of times these crews, if they really did like do more crew battles, the crew's pretty dope. I remember when I first heard about Knuckleheads, Cali. It was because of Thesis. Right? And then I found out about Flexum. I found out about all the other guys. I'm like, man, all these guys from Cali are dope. Knuckleheads Cali? What the heck? But I only knew about Flexum and Thesis. You know? So, like, it is lost, you know? And I think that one of the reasons why it's lost, the crew battles and all that, is because sponsorships.
Why would you say that?
Because, like, think about it, right? All these, like, when you see, like, Kid David or Roxrite or, like, these big B-boys that we knew that we competed against, they're in movies now. You don't see their whole crew in movies. You only see that person. Does that make sense? Like Casper. Casper did movies, but then you didn't see Boogie Brats in there. You didn't see the whole
they broke
crew.
out into the industry.
They broke out into the industry, and now I swear, dude, I swear to God, like for a season, everybody wanted to be a Hollywood celebrity b-boy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that in the scene, anyways.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
a lot
everybody
of people that are like, I'm so I don't know, fame. I feel like there's a lot of people that chase fame in the scene.
Which is sad because now it's like you don't really love the sport, or you don't really love the dancing.
I honestly think it's a lot of younger people now who entered into the scene and never saw it the way we saw it. Like they only saw the social media version of breaking, where your capital is not when you battle somebody and come out with like those types of battle scars, it's like you posted a video on your Instagram and it went viral,
right?
You know, and you got 1 million views or whatever, likes or whatever, and then that's how you got your
Stars
clout.
and stripes.
That's how you got your clout nowadays, and so I feel like they've only seen that.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, I get it. You know, we gotta evolve, but then I think the fundamentals, right, still is such an important key.
Yeah,
right?
You can't like. I feel like you can't dust the dirt off of breaking. You know, like
you can't.
It's just it's fundamentally like this dirty thing that you gotta like respect it for.
Yeah, and like I think it also makes it a little bit more long term, right? Because if you're serious about it and you're not doing it for the clout, the fame, then whether you get it or not, you're still in the game, right? Like, man, like we had nothing coming up, but we still did it because we loved it so much. Like, our goal wasn't to be a Red Bull. I mean, that would have been great. Like, our goal was to beat that local kid. Man, I lost to that guy. Now I'm gonna be like coming back stronger now. You know what I mean? That was our goal during that time. Where it was like, shoot, this crew, man, we gotta wipe this crew out. Yeah, that was what it was about. We didn't really care about winning anymore. It was more about going out there representing hard and knowing that we gave it our all and with no regrets. You know. But yeah, man, I feel you. I think right now it's not like that at all. That's why I think there's so many newcomers, and then there's so many people who's also dropping out. They do it for a while because it's fresh and it's hot now because they're the new things. They're the new b-boys to the scene. But then after they do it for a while, it's like, oh, somebody kind of came in now. You're no longer the new kid on the block. Then they stop because it wasn't really like a passion for that person. They just did it for the clout, like what you were saying, the fame. It wasn't. There wasn't no true dedication. Yeah. It's a weird scene now. I definitely feel out of place in it. You know, I try to be a part of it still, and I go like it just doesn't feel as real to me. It's not the same anymore, for sure. Like every once in a while, you know, like what. Whenever I see some of the Airsteps members, like, we'll talk about the old days. Man, I miss the old days. It's because we're never going to see those days.
I truly don't think it's...
Nobody's going to throw a house party and expect, Airstep might show up.
And I don't want to sound like the, like, old guy that's complaining and reminiscing, but I also want to, like, stress that, like, we're seeing, like, new things in the scene that has never been here before, and... I feel like everyone's kind of adjusting to it and not seeing the repercussions of it, and not predicting what's going to happen from those things. And we're starting to see it now. Like, for instance, like just how much breaking has changed because organized tournaments have become the forefront of the event. Before, that was just kind of part of something. I mean, even before jams were really there, you were just having house parties. It's mostly circles and battles that happen out of that. Now you have basically events structured around fake battles, and that's all that most people see. And then they go to the jam and they go, oh, this is what real breaking is, and they've never been in a circle, never went to a house party and battled somebody. So it's hard for me to go like, yeah, you're a b-boy, but you've never done a like what b-boys do. All you've done is the fake battles. Yeah, like, and I'm not trying to discredit them. Yeah, but it's just different to me. It
is. You know, I remember when I got out the scene for a while, and then I was reaching out to like some of the Airstep members, and then they were telling me, dude, like, was it Silverback? Yeah, the dude.
Yeah, we went.
Yeah, so
the first
like,
one.
Yeah, and like I was hearing about Silverback, how like, oh man, they're changing the game. They're bringing up people. They're sponsoring events and all that. And for me, I felt like that's great. That's more opportunity for b-boys. That's great. But then it soon became like what you were saying. It became something to where it was almost scripted in a way, to where it was just politic to a new level. Yeah. Right? It almost made it felt like they already had a crew or person in mind to win. So they were gonna cater it more towards that person, but they also had to shoot it in a way to where nobody saw that it was scripted or it was role played in that sense.
We're getting back to conspiracy land, baby.
So no, like that's how I always felt when I was watching those scenes again, and it's
I would agree.
That dude perfectly lost.
I would agree because I'll put it this way: I've always thought Red Bull BC1 was rigged, and I'm not trying to hate on them, but I've always been. Whenever I'd watch it, I would go like, "This is kind of weird that these guys that are sponsored by Red Bull keep winning your thing." Like,
or like
it wasn't until this year that the guy that had nothing to do with Red Bull, I never even heard his name, Amir, won it, that I was like, oh, maybe it's not rigged. Because I would always just, every time I'd watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's going to be that guy that wins. It's going to be one of these three guys have the Red Bull shirt on, that are going to win.
You know what I always thought about Red Bull? For me, I look at it as it's a business, right?
Yeah, it is. And it makes sense from a business perspective.
Yeah, I get it. But then again, it becomes a sport now because it's politics and it's a personal gain. There's strings attached. Yeah. So for me, when I watch Red Bull, it's always this. They already have a guy representing Japan. Mm-hmm. They already have a guy representing the U.S. Yeah. They already have a guy representing Brazil. So you get the picture where I'm going, right? Okay, who else are they going to bring in now, so that way they could reach the masses? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You get what I mean? So I felt like it's always been that. Yeah. So they had to play their cards right, and they had to pick a pretty good person to do that, right? Yeah. And once these guys started getting old that was representing a certain country, okay, we gotta find a new rep, new people to represent him because he's getting old. But we're not gonna make it look like we're not gonna be representing him.
Yeah, and I'm not. You know what? I want to clarify. I'm not saying that it's like rigged in the sense that they're like. The judges are like going, "Hey, we're gonna get that guy." You know what I mean? Like they're not doing that. We're not. Like. What I was noticing a lot is that they would have their sponsored guy in a battle against like the non-sponsored guy in a situation where that guy is gonna beat this other guy. Yeah. Unless something crazy happens. And sometimes the craziness does happen and they kind of go like, oh, what are we gonna do? Well, that's why we have lose, but yeah, but like, that's why we have contingency plan where there's these other guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like man. The brackets were always just suspiciously set up that way.
Dude, I mean, it's like
conspiracy theories, baby. Let's go.
Dude, because it's like, man, the guy that won the last Red Bull, he lost the first round in this Red Bull. It's like, what? Yeah. It's so I get it. At the same time, it's kind of like they're trying to entertain the masses. Yeah. They got a business to run. I get it. And Red Bull, the competition is just a small fraction of what the overall umbrella covers, right? They do action camera. They do a bunch of stuff. Yeah. No, I mean, shout out to them for sure. They're doing a lot of stuff. Yeah. And I'm not trying to hate on it at all. I'm just trying to point out the fact that a lot of it is like fake battles to me. I feel like, and I'm not saying fake battles in the sense of like it being bad. It's just that it's not a real battle where like me and you have beef and we're gonna battle. None of them have beef. Right. They're all homies in the end. And then they're just like, oh, they called my name, so we're gonna go up there and do the thing, and and the battles are dope too. Yeah. But again, like it's not real breaking in the sense that the breaking that I grew up with. It's really different. So I want to differentiate that. That's So maybe it's mean to call it fake battles, but it's like different than that. I feel you though. Yeah. That's why it's so hard for me to watch those now. Yeah. I can't really watch no more. Maybe it's just because I'm a outdated old person now. But I can't really watch those no more. A lot of battles now, I see them once in a while and I'll go like, yeah, it's kind of some shit that I've seen before. You know what I mean? It's the same. The footage that gets me excited is surprisingly footage from like the 90s, which has always been the footage that has excited me because you'd see the weirdos just show up just doing something crazy that I've never seen before. Yeah. And I'm like, where the heck did those guys go? Yeah. Like, I don't know. I mean, again, I could conspiracy theory, let's go. That social media again like kind of converge styles to one direction because those are the styles that always win these battles. And so that's what you see most of the time. And that's why every kid right now is doing that. Yeah. And all the weirdos, like you would once in a while get a judge that votes for you, but
a lot of judges are like, what the heck is this? I don't know what it is. And like, and they're not gonna vote for it. But you need the weirdos there. And unfortunately, what I think happens nowadays is the weirdos are still around, but they're just, people don't see them. And the bigger people see what they're doing and they go, let me flip this a little bit and put it on the big stage. And then, I don't know. It's kind of like taking from the weirdos.
Possibly. You know, I mean, I think that's always going to be an issue. Yeah. Everywhere you go, there's always going to be somebody that's going to try to imitate. Yeah. Right? And it's not always originate. Yeah. Always. Yeah. It's just, I don't know, man. I think we could go all night about this topic.
Yeah. Conspiracy theories. Let's go. Yeah, no, yeah, actually we're probably hitting an hour now. So before we close, I wanted to talk a little bit about like your real estate business. Yeah. Because obviously you have a podcast, you have a YouTube channel, you talk all about real estate, trying to get people on game about what to do to buy, like when they're buying property and things like that. And so I wanted to ask you like how you got into that, and like, I guess like what are some tips you would give people that would either be getting into that business or like be looking for property?
Yeah, so I got in the industry because I was a mechanic before. Yeah. And touching cars and all that, but I hated it because my hand was always greasy. Dude, my white tub will be black by the time I'm done with it. Yeah, so it got to that point where it's like it's affecting my health now, because now I'm breathing in bad emissions because I'm always sniffing the tailpipe. So it got to the point where it's like I had to ask myself, do I want to do this forever? Probably not. So then I told one of my church members at that time that I was looking for I was open for a career change, and he was a broker. He's my broker now, and he invited me to a career night at his broker at that time, and I went and I was like, shoot, I can see myself doing this. Yeah. So I got into it, never looked back. Been doing it ever since. So since 2016. Yeah. Okay. So I've been doing it since 2016. What I would recommend anybody that's looking that's getting into the industry, I would say anybody could do it. Again, if you want to put the dedication into it, because I never imagined I was going to be selling homes. Yeah. Or advising people on buying or selling. I never in a million years imagined I was going to be a real estate agent. But once I did it, it's like, shoot, I can't see myself doing anything else now. It kind of became a passion, because with real estate, I just love helping people. Yeah. Even when I was dancing, like my crew members, we would always like try to come up with creative ways to get new sets. Yeah. Like I'll look at Doom, I'll be like, hey, maybe we should do this. Like helping people was always a passion for me. And like in real estate, I'm helping people to become homeownerships, or buying assets or selling assets. So I love that part, and I'm just a social butterfly. If you haven't noticed, So like, I would just say if you're thinking about getting in the industry, talk to somebody and just ask them a lot of questions. Take them out for lunch or coffee or tea, and just ask them a lot of questions. Yeah. And then from there, maybe attend one of their like trainings. And see if you can imagine yourself doing it. It's gonna have to start from there. I can't say that you gotta do it because you love talking to people, because I know some agents that are killing it and they hate talking to people. But then they learn how to leverage a team. Yeah. Okay. To talk to people for them. So there's many angles you could go at it. So it's not one size fits all. And now for anyone that's looking to buy, I would say not everybody's meant to buy a home.
Why do you say that?
Because everybody's season is different. Everybody's got timing. Like you. It's like me coming up to you 5 years ago saying you should buy a home. But it's not the right time. The right time was 2 years ago. Yeah. When you bought this home, right? Yeah. So it's kind of like that. So when I first started this industry, for me, I'm the type of person to where if I think something's good, everybody should be doing it. Okay. So I'll preach about that. Yeah. I'll be like, man, you should buy a home. You don't, you're stupid. And so for me, and so I had to learn and grow that and understand that, you know, people need options. People have options. They're not obligated to doing what you want them to do. People have preference. And you know, people have timing. Because, like, for example, I talk to a lot of first-time home buyers that want to buy. And I'd say probably more than 50% of them should not buy. Because if they buy, they might foreclose next year.
Oh, because they just don't have their finances in order.
Or they're not disciplined. I mean, just because you're qualified for a loan doesn't mean that you are qualified to be a homeowner.
That's true.
Because some people will buy a home and then they neglect the maintenance. They're too used to the rental mindset of my landlord's gonna fix everything. So then when they buy a home, it's like, shoot, I'm the landlord now. So now they dig a hole financially, and then now the home becomes too stressed. Then they have to let it go, and then now they're jaded. You know, now they're jaded, and then they go, I'm never buying a home again. It's because you bought it during the wrong time. You weren't disciplined enough. You know, so I mean, some people grow. You know, they learn to discipline themselves when they're becoming a homeowner. That's great, but more than 50% of buyers, first-time home buyers, should not buy a home because you gotta discipline yourself.
I always wanted to buy a house since I was like 18, and I just had no money, and I was like, oh, I gotta do it. We're broke here, baby. Broke boys. No, but so I was always like trying to work towards that. So I finally achieved that goal, and you know, like, stepping into it, it's definitely different in the sense.
Man, like, you didn't even answer your door when I came. You were working in your garden.
I was working outside
because it's your baby now, right? You're trying to make it look sexy. You're trying to make it look good for people to host, and it's you want to make it look good for you because it's your baby now, right? And that's part of the maintenance behind that. But some people, like, they're just not ready for that.
They don't want to fix things or whatever. Like, I like fixing things. My dad's a contractor, and so I kind of grew up fixing things. And then I'm a structural engineer, so like I know how to design these things too. So like, it's fun for me to do those things, but I can definitely see how people would be like, I'm over this. I don't.
Like, it's very buying a home of your own is a lot of responsibility.
Definitely.
You know, and if you're not budgeting for it and you're not being realistic about it, then like you really need to seek counsel about that. And that's really what I do. Like most of the time, whenever I'm helping my clients to go through the process of buying a home, that's really what I'm doing. So my job as an agent is to look at what they're pre-approved for, what their budget is, and then tell them what type of home they can or should not buy, right? And then from there, a lot of times what I do is I'll counsel them. Sometimes, majority of the time, you probably did this when you were looking for this home. You had a budget, but you always liked the home that was higher than your budget. So eventually you went above your budget. Or if you're really disciplined, you're going to say no. And you're just going to stick to your budget. To a lot of first-time home buyers, like, they go in with unrealistic expectation of the process. Because, like, I'll tell them, hey, if you're qualified for $350K, because of the market right now, I'd recommend you look at homes only priced at $330K. Because now you have $20,000 worth of buffer that you could compete with if you need to compete.
If you got to compete.
Because, I mean, did you pay over asking for this to win it? You had to.
We had
How many homes did it take for you to land on this home?
This is our third or fourth bid, I think.
Third or fourth bid, but how many homes did you see with your agent?
Oh, a lot, dude, tons.
And
more
so,
than
like,
30 probably.
So like a lot of first-time home buyers come into this thinking the first home I see, I'ma love and I'ma submit an offer and then I'ma get keys the next day. Doesn't work that way. Heck no. You gotta.
I knew that wasn't gonna happen, but I can see how some people are like, I'm gonna get this house.
Some people get really emotionally attached to that process and it's unrealistic. So then when it happens, it's like, shoot.
You know what? There's a couple houses that we bid on that we were like pretty attached to, and then when we lost it, it was pretty devastating. Especially when there was one that we lost that sucked a lot because our bid was the same as the other person's bid, but they were like, oh, but they have a kid on the way, and then they're like, well, we're gonna sell it to them. We're like, No.
Yeah, dude. Like sometimes, I mean, there's a lot of elements that could go about that, but
Yeah.
it really depends on all parties involved, right? And like, there's so much more that goes into play. And so, like, my job as an agent is to make sure that any client is within their budget, and that if they do decide to go outside their budget, then of course they could do that, but just be warned, you're going outside your budget.
Yeah.
You know, so I a lot of times, man, I just therapize. I'm just a therapy for my clients.
Therapy?
Because they're getting jaded now, and
yeah.
it's like, it's okay. Next, let's go look at a next home. Your dream home is still out there. You know, like I'm just a therapist.
Yeah.
Really?
That makes sense. Yeah,
You know?
no, I mean,
it's an emotional process.
it is. For
Right?
sure. Yeah.
And I mean, you've been here for 2 years now.
This is no. This is our. We've been here for what? Almost a year. No,
Almost a year.
Yeah.
Oh man, see, so then like, yeah, man,
Yeah.
you're still feeling the honeymoon stage, you know?
Yeah,
with this
yeah,
home.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful like accomplishment to become a homeowner. Now you have options, you know. If you don't want to live here, you could rent it out and go to a different area. Like, it's great. But all I'm saying is that, like, if anybody that's trying to buy a home, just speak to a local professional that you want to work with and see what they say about your situation, because everybody's situation is different.
Yeah.
You know, and also make sure that the person that you're working with has like a heart of a teacher. Because as a first-time homebuyer, you probably had 1,000 questions, right? Yeah. Why am I doing this? Why do I need to turn in my deposit? Am I gonna get that deposit back if we cancel? Like, how much is 20%? How much is 3%?
Yeah.
So like, make sure you have somebody that's not trying to like ghost you, and they communicate and they're transparent with you and they answer every question you have. Because as a first-time homebuyer, you're gonna have hundreds of questions. So find somebody with that kind of attitude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was gonna ask another question. I forgot what it was. But no, I mean, I would say like first time home buying is like such a process. Like, you don't even really understand like how much goes into it. And but it's definitely a cool process, and I suggest everyone do it eventually.
So like, you know, first time home buyers, it is a tough. It is a frustrating process.
Yeah.
But as you become more seasoned and you understand the process in and out, and you are like some of these investors that are buying multiple homes and you're used to it, like it becomes less emotional. Mm-hmm. You know, like I work with investors all the time. I work with first time home buyers, and like mindset is totally different from the two. Mm-hmm. You know, like investors don't care about the home as much. They care about the numbers, how much it's going to generate income wise. First time home buyer is, shoot, is my family gonna like this house? Mm-hmm. How's the school? How's the area? Can I jog at night and not feel like I'm gonna get shot? Like, these are real questions, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. And that's why I started Chia Talks.
Okay. You know? That's what I was gonna ask you. Do you have any videos on there that you would recommend someone going to who has no idea? Because I know your channel's very focused on the Sacramento area, but do you have any videos on there that would kind of puts a new home owner or prospective homeowner like on game about this whole process?
So I have a lot of videos. Just go check them all out. I have a lot, but if for a first time home buyer, I would say start off with the first video you see on my channel. Okay. When you go to my homepage, it's gonna say all the steps for first-time home buyers on how to buy a home. Yeah, okay. Like all the steps. And then from there, if you follow those steps, you'll be golden. Okay. Okay. And then it's one of my longer videos that out of the norm, but I made that video and I started Chia Talks was because I was getting so much repetitive questions about the same thing. So it was so much more easier for me to just say, hey, go watch this video.
Go watch the video.
You have another question about the same thing? Just rewind it.
Go watch it.
You know, so it got to that point to where that's why I was making these videos, because, dude, I would get so many phone calls calling me about some of the most simplest questions ever. Yeah. And it got to the point to where I finally understood, like, just because I know this does not mean people know it.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we were saying about musicality. Just because I could follow the beat doesn't mean that person's going to be able to follow the beat unconsciously.
Yeah.
It's a skill set, and we do it unconsciously. It's second nature to us because we're doing it all the time. Buying a home, it's almost the same way. Like, for me, like, one of the most repetitive question I got was, how much money do I need as a down payment? And of course, the answer is always it depends.
Yeah.
How much do you want your payment to be?
Yeah.
And what can you approve for? There's a lot of programs out there. There's some that you don't need any money down. There's some that only requires 1%, 2%, 3%, 5%, 20%. But it depends on your budget. It depends on your, everybody's situation is different in that regards. But I made a video about that. And then from there, it just kind of started piling up to where I started seeing people were looking out for these videos to come out because some people don't like to ask because for them it's a stupid question.
Oh, okay.
So then for me, I always try to position myself as that person. So I'll make a video pertaining to that question, even if it hasn't been asked.
Yeah.
Like I'll try to put myself in somebody else's shoe.
Yeah.
That's how I was able to come up with all my video topics.
Yeah. Okay.
So just so that way it could be out there.
Yeah. No, it's smart to do that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, it could be a stupid question, but it's not stupid in the sense that a lot of people don't know it.
Yeah, they won't know.
I mean, I'll say it. I'm stupid. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're only stupid when you don't ask the question. Really, that's what I would always say. But then, like, it's not that nobody knows this. They should know. It's because it's not their livelihood. Yeah. Right? Like, I don't understand engineering.
Yeah.
I think you guys are crazy scientists behind the scene. You guys think of all the crazy stuff. But then, like, for you, you're probably like, because you live and breathe that, you know? So,
definitely.
So that's always the feeling. So I always have to remind myself that everybody I'm working with, especially a first-time home buyer, they're the same way. They're a blank slate.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm so in the weeds of engineering sometimes that I forget that I'm in the weeds when someone asks me like a question and I go like, oh, you don't know this? But then I gotta go, oh yeah, but you don't do any of this ever. So like, I gotta take you back to like, like high school kind of like math to like explain this to you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, no, I think it's good to have that out there because there's going to be questions about stuff like that.
And that's what I mean when I said you got to find somebody that's going to be willing to answer those questions for you.
Okay.
Because as a first-time home buyer, you're going to have that kind of question. And there's just some people out there that does not want to waste their time answering that question. For them, you're just a number. That might not be somebody you want as a first-time home buyer. Maybe as a seasoned buyer, it's okay to have somebody like that because you already know the process. Yeah. But as a first-time home buyer, you need a lot of hand-holding. And you need to have somebody by your corner that's willing to hold your hand. Like the agent that got you guys this home, I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys had to compete with other buyers to get this home.
Yeah, we did. Yep.
So he or she did something to win you guys this bid.
Yeah, I mean, she was over there talking to the people like, hey, give it to them. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I think she knew the seller actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we had some kind of inside thing. I think. Luckily, somehow there was some kind of thing.
Allegedly, right?
Allegedly, I don't know.
Yeah, but then like that's what you want because when you're going through the process of this, that person needs to advocate for you.
Yeah, definitely. They were advocating.
Like, you need that as a first-time home buyer. I'm not saying as a seasoned investor, as a first-time home buyer. You need somebody that's gonna advocate for you.
Yeah. Last question: do you, in your opinion, do you think like property is the best asset to own? Like comparing it to like, let's say like cash in hand or like gold or Bitcoin or other things like that. Would you say property is the best asset to hold?
It's one of the best. I would say that. I would say it's better than cash for sure.
For sure, it's better
because
than cash.
You're losing out automatically because of inflation. We're not even gonna get to that.
Yeah.
And then when you have property, like your property is gonna rise with inflation, right? So then you're kind of hedging yourself against that. And so like towards cash, I would say yes. If you are able to buy a home and utilize your cash to go buy a property, it's probably best you do that because you're not getting anything at the banks for your money. You're actually losing value because of inflation.
Yeah.
So I would say that. But compared to like stocks, crypto, and all that, we're in a new society now.
It is. Yeah.
We're in a new society now to where NFTs can make somebody like rich, right? Or Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
Like you
I
have
need to sell some NFTs of this show or something. Who wants to buy it? No,
bro, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is.
But then, like, just so that way I don't go too much into this, but I think with real estate, we're human at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Real estate is one of those assets that you could have that you could feel.
Yeah, it is.
You can feel, it's yours. You can live in it. You can rent it out. You can Airbnb it. You can make money from it, right? Mm-hmm. You have a lot of control over your property. When it comes to all of those other things, I'm not an expert on Bitcoin or NFTs or any of that, but a lot of that is digital, right? Like for me, I feel like it's one of those things where I don't have much control over that, right? Because what if the internet gets taken away?
The aliens come and take it.
For real.
Or you put in the Matrix or something.
Or what if my internet is down?
Yeah.
What if I can't pay internet? Now, you know what I mean? So like, it's one of those things where it's like, I can't touch it.
Yeah.
So it's scary. Maybe I'm old school because of that. Because now people be flashing NFTs and Bitcoin, and that's like their social status now. I mean, it's a new world now. But like for me, I'm gonna always stick to a home. Not because I'm a real estate agent or anything like that, but it's because I understand like the pros and cons of owning a home. Like not everybody should buy a home yet, but when you are ready to buy a home, you should take advantage of it and buy a home, because then what's going up now? Rent's going up.
Yeah.
And like, I think in this same area, it's probably higher than your mortgage, or about the same.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not your home though.
Yeah.
So like when you look at it from that aspect, it's like, I'd rather just own the home that I rent.
Yeah, exactly.
Because what if rent continues to go up?
It always will.
It's gonna always go up. Yep. That's how it is. And we're never gonna see homes like how our parents got it.
Yeah.
We're never gonna see homes drop to like $10,000.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna happen,
That's
people.
Not happening.
Even at the lowest low, it's not gonna get to that point ever.
Not,
unless somebody loves you and they just gave away the house, and then there you go.
You'd have to inherit it.
Yeah, but then like the market wise, even if it crashes, I don't think it's gonna get down to those ancestral prices anymore.
There's no way it would do it. I think fundamentally the way that our monetary system works in the U.S., there's no way it would happen, because basically the solution always is to like print money, which always causes inflation, which is just going to make this asset go higher in price. At least that's what I think from a dummy's perspective.
Yeah, I mean, like, not to get too like analytical or anything, but then like if you look at history, right, on the housing prices, it goes up and down.
Yeah, but it always
long
goes
term,
up.
it's always going up.
Yeah. In my opinion, you look at all these assets like property, you look at gold, you look at Bitcoin. Historically, they always go up. And to me, I think we're looking at it all wrong. I think they basically hold their wealth, and the dollar just goes down.
It is. You're right on that. And like I said, I don't want to go too deep into that because I can talk about that all day, because
I can too.
But it's interesting. And I mean, learning about all these things is interesting because you don't learn about it in school, right?
Yeah.
But then the more you learn about it, the more pissed off you are that you didn't learn it in school. So I'm not even going to get into that topic.
Yeah, dude, that's me. That's me.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Yeah,
so like right now I have kids, right? You're about to have a kid, so I teach my kids all these things.
Yeah.
Like I tell my wife, I'm like, the moment they get old enough to use a credit card, I'm gonna give them a credit card.
Yeah,
because they need credit.
Yeah, you need credit.
Unfortunately, we live in the society where credit score is everything.
Yeah, I didn't even know that until like way late in my life. I was like, oh crap, I need a credit card, and so I got it, and just I was good with it.
Yeah.
Basically bought everything on it and then pay it off like every month.
Yeah, just use it the same way you're utilizing a debit card. Yeah, then you be fine.
I almost just threw away my debit card and just never used it.
In a sense, you want to, because think of it as this way. Like the debit card is the bank's money. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's technically your money. that's in that debit card, yes, but you're not getting no value from swiping it.
Yeah.
As a credit card, if you
value.
use it the way you use a credit card, I mean a debit card, then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But on top of that, you might get points,
Mm-hmm.
you might get cash back, rewards, and your score is gonna go up to where you could buy a home.
Yeah.
And you'll have cheaper interest.
No one told me any of that.
I know.
I was just a dummy, and like, I don't know how I found that.
But
out.
you're an
And then-
engineer, man.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
just
no, I
playing.
mean, but hey,
I'm just playing.
I started.
Money is different.
I
Money's
started
different.
out dumb as hell in everything.
We all
and
did,
I
bro.
figured, I don't know. I eventually stumbled on the idea of credit, and I was like, oh crap, I need credit. And then that's when it all clicked to me, and I was like, okay, I need to start doing this. And now I have really good credit because I did
I was
that.
so against credit cards. When
Yeah, I was
growing
like
up.
the same way.
I was like, you're stupid. You got a credit card? Trash it. You know,
Yeah.
I was like that until I understood money, and I'm like, damn, everybody needs a credit card.
Yeah.
But I mean, don't abuse it.
Don't abuse it.
Use it the way you're using a debit. Is what I'm
Some
saying.
people shouldn't have credit cards. I would
Yes,
say.
just like some people shouldn't buy a home.
Yeah. If you're not responsible, you don't have.
You
a
just
credit
gotta be disciplined.
Yeah.
But that's a principle you should apply everywhere in life. If you're not disciplined about something in life, like you shouldn't even do it. Like some people like I mean I'm gonna go off tangent here, but like drug dealers.
Oh yeah.
If you're smoking your drug, then you shouldn't be selling drugs,
Yeah, definitely.
right? Because you're your number one customer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
right? And if you're just gonna be an addict, and you're never gonna make money. You're gonna owe a bunch of people hella money.
I mean that's kind of anything that you're selling, really. Like you don't want to just be like, I'm selling this, but I don't have any product because
exactly. So like, apply that with life.
Yeah. At that point, you're just a consumer.
Yes,
That's all it is.
Yes, for reals, man.
Yeah. Well, hey, dude, this was a great talk, man.
Yeah.
Do you have any last minute thoughts? Where can people find you?
So YouTube, Chia Talks, one word, no spaces. Facebook also. Man, just look me up. I'm always on my phone. So like, if you text me or message me on one of those platforms, I'll respond.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll respond. Like while you're at it, just go check out one of my videos and comment below that we sent you there. Like this podcast sent you there.
Yeah, baby, let's
That'd
go.
be dope.
And if you buy a house, go through him, and give me like.
We might not be the right fit, but you won't know until you ask.
Give me like some commission too. Yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Sorry the show sucks. Ooh, that camera's.